Hi friends, welcome back to Love Good Kitchen, or welcome if it's your first time with us. Love Good Kitchen, where we talk about recipes, meal prep, kitchen tools, and so much more. Oh, we can hear the boys in the other room as I prepare tonight's dinner, which I am going to share with you in the process of putting it together. And this is something new. I have not tried this before, so how about you go on the journey with me and see how this turns out. We're gonna do a sheet pan frittata. And in case you don't know, a frittata is very much like an omelet. Omelet versus frittata just kind of depends on at what point in the process of cooking it you add your filling or your other ingredients. But it's an egg-based option. And so we're going to be doing it in a sheet pan and baking it in the oven. It doesn't take super long and it's pretty easy to do. So I have not done this particular recipe before. However, the method is pretty standard, so I don't see how it can be bad. And I did not come up with this recipe on my own. I did see it on a channel called Simply Mama Cooking, I believe. But also I adapted it. We're not doing exactly the same ingredients that she did on her video, but you'll see that you can, there's the base and you can add whatever filling or ingredients you want. So I do have a sheet pan here. This is a half sheet pan and I have greased it liberally. I use shortening as I usually do to grease my pans. You could use butter. In this instance, I don't recommend you use nonstick cooking spray, but I know some of you have strong feelings about it, so you do you, boo. You do what you want to do. I grease this one with shortening. Our other ingredients that we have, and I wrote them down here so that I wouldn't forget anything. We've got 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. We have a teaspoon of baking powder that I have whisked into the flour. We have 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. We have half a teaspoon of powdered garlic, half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of salt, and half teaspoon of ground pepper. So those are our seasonings in there. We also have a 1/3 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 6 eggs, a generous 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, half a cup of cream. Okay, so those are the basic things. And then for our, we'll call it the filling for our frittata, I have some canned mushrooms that I did drain, squeeze some of the water out because they can be kind of watery. So I did that with those. We're doing easy peasy tonight. So I got a can of sliced potatoes that we're gonna add into our frittata. This is a couple links of chicken sausage with sun-dried tomatoes that I happen to have in the fridge. I just heated that up and sliced it. We're gonna add that in. And then last but not least, I have a little bit of chopped onion that we're gonna add in as well. So most of our ingredients we wanna add to our sheet pan first before we put our egg mixture on there. So we kind of want to layer them a little bit. I'm doing the potatoes first. I should mention that I do have the oven preheating to 350 degrees, okay? So we'll just get these going on there. Whoops. We got a jumper. Okay. So I'm just layering these onto our sheet pan. I got 2 more in there. If I can get it out. There's 1. And I don't have to worry about slicing my fingers off because I opened this can with my Pampered Chef Smooth Edge can opener. The bread. Okay, so we got our potatoes on the sheet pan. Let me rinse my fingers. I should get a towel out here. Luke just came in the door. And Teddy knows that it's him, so now he's crying out because he knows that Papa's home. Okay, so we got our potatoes on there. I think next I'm gonna do the sausage, so we're just gonna put that kind of in between. It doesn't have to be like scientific method here. We're just kind of layering our dish here. The original recipe, it did say instead of greasing the pan to line it with parchment and bake it that way, which I'm sure works, but we're not doing that for this because it just seemed kind of cumbersome, unnecessary. I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, but so I just greased it generously. And we got one more. Okay, that on there. Very good. Okay, how about next we do sprinkle this onion in. So kind of go sprinkle, sprinkle on top. Also, frittata, which is close cousin to omelet, is oftentimes a breakfast food, but as many of you know, we like to do breakfast for dinner in this house, so that's the vibe we're going with tonight. I got a little piece of potato, there we go. Okay, last but not least for this part, or at least for right now, I'm gonna sprinkle on the mushrooms. I suppose I could have thought this out a little bit more as far as color. We could have been a little more colorful, but I am gonna serve this with some veggies, which always adds some color. Okay, that's good for that for now. What I'm gonna do now is, we have 6 eggs. I'm gonna crack our eggs into the bowl here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a little piece of shell stuck to my finger. There it goes. And just in case you were wondering, before I started this video, right before I started, I did wash my hands very well with warm soapy water. Okay, we got our eggs in there. And now we're going to put in, next I'm going to put in the seasonings. Put that in with our ½ cup of heavy cream. You could use whole milk in place of the cream. Or 2%. I might be a little leery to go with skim milk. Might make it a little bit watery. If you did that, maybe reduce the amount a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna take my whisk. We're gonna whisk this together. Okay, and then this is our 2/3 cup of flour with a teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to add that in. Give that a nice whisk, just enough to incorporate it so you don't have any dry flour streaks in there. And then, not all of it, I'm just going to add in some of the cheese. That was, I don't know, about a half-ish cup. Okay, that looks good. For this next part, I think I'm gonna get a different utensil. We're done with the whisk. Grab one of these. Okay. So now we're just going to pour our egg mixture over our fillings, toppings, whatever you want to call it. It looks good. Okay. So we've I'm just gonna take my spatula, spoonula, scraper thing here, and just kind of even it out so there's some of this touching all the spots. And there. I mean, you don't have to go nuts with it. I think just so it's not, you don't have any bare spots. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to take this remaining cheese. It's approximately half a cup-ish of the shredded mozzarella, and sprinkle that. Like I said, you could do whatever fillings you wanted, whatever veggies. You could use bacon or sausage or ham, or go meatless. You could use pepperoni, ground beef. I mean, it's kind of endless, the possibilities. You could switch up the cheeses that you use in there. So I have the oven preheated, as I mentioned, to 350. I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and it's gonna take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna keep checking it once we get to 20 minutes until it's a little bit puffed and it's set and maybe a little golden brown, and then I'll bring you back so we can check it out. Okay, we're back. It took about 20, I think this was in there for about 22 minutes. It's gonna depend on your oven and also which ingredients you have in there, how thick it is, but that's about how long this took. The frittata is done. Doesn't that look delicious? And I wish we had smell-o-vision because it smells divine. So I'm gonna cut this into squares, and we're gonna have that as our dinner. This would be wonderful if you had a brunch spread out, if you had some friends over for brunch, for breakfast, or like us for dinner, or you could even make it more savory, like we were talking about before. So lots of options here, super easy and quick to put together. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it does help out my channel, so I appreciate that very much. But I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.